They're going to give us state updates on the Purple Star program. And hope you all enjoy the lunch, and we'll move right along.
Okay. Slideshow. Okay, testing. Okay, we're good. So in keeping with the tradition of bad Christmas jokes, I don't want to be outdone by my colleagues here. So, what do you call a kid who doesn't believe in Santa? A rebel without a clause. Bada bing, bada bang. All right, all right. So, so we're here. You've seen us here. I'm Steve Cameron. I'm co-project director of the Purple Star program, and
I'm the other one.
she's the other half of the co-project director. So we're just going to give you a few updates, and so Teresa did such a good job. We don't have to provide any overviews about what the program does because she did a great job of that, and it was that story. Is funny how that happened at that Friskies conference. She just stepped into the elevator and they're looking at the schedule, wondering what workshop they're going to go to. And I said, come to ours. And now we're here. So good things can happen from chance encounters. So the first thing I want to do is to try to get the thing to work, but let's just do it this way. It's not. Oh, okay. Let's click on that baby. All right. Okay, now we're good. So this is our Purple Star footprint as of right now. And as Teresa mentioned, so you see down there in Eastern County and Floyd County, they are in all purple districts. We like to track that because it's kind of friendly competition and it gets people interested, especially if you're a school superintendent. You might go, oh, well, yeah, they got an all purple district. Why aren't we all purple, right? So we like to encourage a little friendly competition. But we have got, I think 100, as of right now, 168 Purple Star schools, and those are in the counties that you see with those 7 all purple districts. We're averaging close to, we do our application cycles in the fall and the spring, and we're averaging about close to 20 applicants every cycle. So that's almost 40 a year. So I wouldn't have predicted that rate of success when we started out, but this thing has caught on and has taken on a life of its own. So that's what we look like, and we expect that to grow very soon because our spring applications are due February 15th. So we'll see what that brings. I encourage you, if you have questions during the presentation, just to go ahead and ask them. You don't have to wait till afterwards. One of the things the big things that has happened since the last time we presented here is that we did a Purple Star liaison survey. Now, and Teresa is a Purple Star liaison. She is that point person in the school. These liaisons are required to take a training that's on our website that was done by a behavioral psychologist, also a veteran at UK, and a fellow that works with veterans. So it's a combination military 101, military culture, but it also, the behavioral health side talks about the stressors and the risk factors that are inherent in military culture, from the frequent deployments and the changes of schools and things like that. So if that liaison in the school doesn't have military experience, this kind of gets them kind of primed to provide assistance to those kids whose fathers or mothers may be deployed, and how to deal with that. So we do a survey every year. So the themes that came out of it this year were, as you see there, the big one, and it's going to stay big, is identifying those military connected students. A lot of schools have their own little surveys and ways to do that, and we encourage them to do that. Obviously, time constraints, Teresa's Frisks, and they do so much, and so it is a challenge. It's a time challenge. We just ask folks to do what they can. We don't want to make this any more burdensome than it has to be. Limited resources and funding. We don't provide, because we can't provide actual funding to the schools for programs. That's why that community piece is so essential. But we provide incentives. We provide a plaques, and, for recognition, and they get the banner to hang in the school. But that's about all we can do. Low visibility and support from school administrators. I think that comes basically from the fact that principals are busy people, and it may drop off the radar screen. Need for better program leader communication, up-to-date info, and that's on us, and we're doing some things about that. So some of the impact things is that, and again, this is anecdotal, but our liaisons are telling us that these activities they're doing, like the stuff that Teresa talked about, is that it's improving, student and family connection and engagement. Schools and the community report more awareness about the kind of challenges that military family goes through as a result of this program. And obviously, as you can see from that map, the activities have grown over time. And there's a cool little quote from one of the liaisons just about how the program has increased engagement and awareness. So we look for, there's our training benefits. We asked them about the training. They said that it was good to get oriented. Foundational knowledge is appreciated. Areas for improvement, and this is what we're going to concentrate on in the coming year. Tiered training by school level, that's going to be a challenge because we don't have a lot of money to do just a middle school and elementary school, but we can look at that. And I think our challenge for us is not necessarily to create new training, but to plug these folks into resources that already exist. Quick reference toolkits, one-pagers. We're working on that. Georgie's going to show you one of our examples of that. Military policy updates, and more in-person, virtual, regional training sessions and opportunities to connect with other liaisons. And we're working on that too. And so Georgie will talk about that. So basically, in the proverbial nutshell, here's what we're finding is that, yes, to no surprise, liaisons are dedicated, but they have time and resource challenges. We knew that going into it. Our training is foundational, but we need to take it to the next level. Additional tools and support are needed to help these liaisons, especially if they're new, and they might not be from a military background. There's no requirement that they are a veteran or anything like that. Very often they are either spouses or veterans, but that's not always the case, and those folks need a little extra help. So Georgie's going to talk about some of our resources here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Georgie Ann Johnson, Georgie for short, and I am the other program co-director. I just said I'm the other one, so I apologize. But before I go into resources, I did want to go back to the map with this 7 all-purple districts. And the reason why I'm highlighting this is because a district typically consists of K through 12, right? So you have all the grade levels covered. So if we only have 7 counties that the entire Purple Star or the entire school district is in the Purple Star network, that means that those students are being, followed from K all the way to graduation with that same support system intact. I also want to highlight an entire region. So the Jefferson, Oldham, Trimble, Henry, Spencer, Bullitt counties right there. That is Region 6, and it is 1 county short from being an entire region that is purple. So that would, highlight that if a student were to go from Henry to Bullitt, even to Nelson, to the neighboring counties, back to Jefferson, they would be covered at least in some of the schools just being Purple Star affiliated. And those connections and services and resources would be available to them. And all they would have to do is just say, hey, I'm a Purple Star student. So that's why I wanted to highlight this specifically. And another one I wanted to highlight is one of the time constraints and the role overload. We have been in practice of encouraging our Friskies to have a team. So that way it's not just one person. And I already know that everyone in this room wears multiple hats. You get hired for one job, but in actuality, you're doing 5 to 10 different things, right? You have many other emails to answer to, you have many other resources to report out on, you have many other people that you need to keep in the loop. So it gets kind of overloading and overwhelming if it's just you. So we do encourage a team. Again, everyone can be a Purple Star liaison. We actually encourage that so students know they can talk to almost anyone in the building. And that goes for our advocates and communities as well. I would encourage you all to take the training just so you have the background knowledge of how to address a military student. And now back to the resources. So this is really exciting. We actually worked on a Veterans Day resource guide for teachers. There is pages upon pages upon pages of activities, things, facts, even curriculum you can do within in the classroom with the students. We have our other advocate, Global Game Changers. They actually partnered with this, and we actually have a couple of their curriculum that they have free online included in this so that you can do it with your students on a one-on-one level or as a group class community. There's also a step-by-step flag folding. I'm highlighting that because twice now, I believe, a Frisk has reached out to Steve and I asking if we know anything about the flag folding steps and what each fold means. And it's like, we're military liaisons. How can we not know that off the top of our head? So we actually put it together in a resource toolkit that is free. Just reach out to me. It's a very large file, so I'm still trying to shrink it enough to send across email. So just bear with me and I will get that out to you right away. There's also letter calls or roll calls, so you can write letters out to the veterans. This is great for Month of the Military Child. This is also great for Veterans Day. So it's a year-round toolkit that you can actually use. Thank you. So one of the questions that we always get is, oh, is there any kind of statewide, region-wide, county-wide meetup where Teresa can meet with someone from Jefferson County or vice versa? For those of you who don't remember, Teresa's from Floyd County, so it's kind of hard for her to get all the way to Jefferson all the time. So what we've done is we host a liaison loop live. It is monthly, the second Wednesday of every month from 11 to noon. It's not recorded because we want it to be a space where teachers can speak freely. We already know that there's so many roadblocks in place to where you have to mind the things that are being said or being done. So if we want to collaborate, instead of having to follow that rigid protocol of yays or nos or this or that, it's literally just, if you don't like what we're doing, say that you don't like what we're doing so we can fix it and make it better. That's the environment we're trying to establish for our liaisons to feel comfortable, especially when it comes to reaching out to state, asking for additional resources, additional programs, some kind of guidance. So the first thing I always say whenever we launch the Zoom call is there something that we could be doing better? Where are we failing, you guys? Literally just straight to the point, because that's what they want, results, more or less. And we can, jargon it all we want with state protocol and language and policy and say, hey, we're working on it. It's in the works. But no, you want results. So that's what we do for our liaisons, is try and give them that space to get those results. And how to apply. Some of you are already familiar with this, but just go to the Purple Star website. It's KentuckyPurpleStar.org. Submit an application to the advisory board. We at the advisory board level, there's Steve and I, as well as I think 10 other individuals that review applications. We do go through with a fine-tooth comb fine tooth comb because we are very particular with what we're looking for to support our students. So if you ever get an email saying, hey, this is wrong, it's because we really want to be a resource for students. So please don't take offense to that. I think I'm one of the harshest graders. So just bear in mind with me, it's for a good reason. Once you receive your application approval, you will receive your designation, and the designation lasts 2 years. The reason for that is people move around, titles change, names change, and the only way I am aware of that, or Steve is aware of that, is if you reapply and update the school's information. As well as it's a way that we are able to audit the schools as well, in a sense of making sure that their military resource page is up to date. That is a requirement to become a Purple Star designee, is to have a military resource page. And we, again, are very particular because we don't like the 1-800 numbers being listed as a resource. We want something in the county, in your backyard. We always encourage the regional prevention centers to be a resource because that is local to the region. Again, there's village caregiving, all of these different community organizations that could be listed instead of the national 1-800 number that you're on hold for 15 minutes with. So it makes a huge difference, especially when those oncoming students or those oncoming families are reaching out for assistance. And then our call to action, again, I would love to see those dark purple dots all over the state instead of just having 7, but I will be grateful. I love the idea of having an all-inclusive network from K through 12, and that's how I would like for you all to look at it as well. Get in contact with your Friskies, get in contact with your schools. I know some teachers, or not some teachers, but some organizations have students in schools that are not Purple Star affiliated. How can you be that, that little angel on the shoulder saying, hey, why doesn't this happen at this school? Stuff or areas that we are not able to get into because of where we're at or just our lack of coming across each other. Lack of better words, I can't think right now. So anyways, be our next all-purple school district. Again, submit applications by February 15th. So the spring and the fall every year. If you miss the spring, we'll honestly work with you to get you in for the fall. So we're very flexible in that instance. And then any questions, comments, or concerns? Don't be afraid. Tell me. Yes.
I think instead of three purple colors, one's like a few, oh, my question was if they've considered 3 purple colors, because I would think 6 through 12 would be like, obviously we want K through 12 everywhere.
Yes.
But I think it'd be a major accomplishment if you had way more counties showing 6 through 12 and then 7 or 10 or 12 showing all K through 12, like maybe showing the 3.
So I can actually address this confidently. So we were in practice of using 3 different colors. We would have newly appointed, just recent application, and then we would have been in it long enough so they can show that they're longstanding, and then we would have the all purple, so the dark purple. And we realized that it was hard. We would mess up more so than we would like, because again, the data from all of the schools, we print out a statewide school list, and cross-referencing that got to the point of there's no real system in place because schools closed down. And that actually messed us up a few times. So we, instead of going from 3, we went from 3 to 2 colors. The light purple shows at least 1 school within the county. Obviously, there's more, but at least 1. But then the dark purple is the entire school district. And we wanted to highlight those different because of that network of students and teachers and the community, and that connection.
Yeah, but so to your question though, if I understand it correctly, you're saying that if there would be a district where all elementary schools are Purple Star, maybe not. I didn't quite understand the other color.
My question was in highlighting those middle and high school,
Mhm.
would you have more? Because elementary tends to be harder to get. I would think.
That's opposite for us.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
different,
yeah.
To show like broader achievement status to then grow it.
You know,
That's all I was thinking.
yeah, I could see where we could break data down.
We could-
do it,
yeah.
Like do like number of, that's a good idea. Like here's like elementary schools, middle schools, and see what that looks like.
Hmm.
My sense would be like, here's the elementary schools, for whatever reason.
Elementary schools love
They
this.
just, yeah, they jump. up.
Yes.
Year, like second year, through high school.
Yeah,
So K through 8.
yeah,
You know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
That might
and
be a little hard.
you have private schools like Catholic schools.
Yeah.
From 1 to 8, you know?
yeah.
So-
And I think just touching on that, we have had to call schools up just to ask, like, what is your grade levels?
Yeah, right.
Because it's not just clear cut elementary, middle, and high. You have primary, secondary, beyond years. We have a couple academies. So it's harder for us to gauge that information, especially since we don't have that official list of all the schools. This is just us getting information through our connections at the state level, as well as doing our own research. And that's what a lot of it is us doing our own research. I'm sorry for laughing. Anything else? Any other questions, comments, or concerns? No? Alrighty. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed your lunch.
All right.
Yes.
There's our contact information if you need it. All right. I'm gonna-